Well, I'm probably going to get a little hate with this particular video, but it's actually quite relevant, not just for physical fitness, but mental and emotional. And I was actually having a conversation with a black British friend of mine, and I respect him a lot, and there are some things we don't see eye to eye on, but we always seem to have a good conversation where neither one of us gets offended. And you know, we get on very well, we message and we pass on ideas, and we mainly keep to training and how life is going and everything else like that. And to be honest with you, neither one of us really actually, both of us admit we don't have that much to complain about. You know, we live in a society where, yes, there are crappy things happening, but we live in a society where pretty much we can express ourselves and we can pretty much say how and what we feel. And the whole principle of democracy, freedom of speech, is to turn around and say, express ideas, to put forth a constructive side to what we're saying. So you got to constructively put the reasons why, how, what, where, when, you know, and say, well, this is this because of this, and this, and this is what this is and this is. And we got talking about racism in England, and he said is that England, the UK was the first, and even himself he said, you know, well, the UK was the first country to outlaw slavery. They were the first country to actually police it and to make sure that it came to a stop, and America followed UK's lead. There's a lot of other things, but we did get onto the thing and said, well, you know, he made the observation that, well, you know, I still carry the name that you know, white people gave to my ancestors. You know, how much it hurt him and stuff like that. And I said, well, look, I said, you know, and I made this point, and I'm going to make this point now on this video, is that in today's society, you know, I think we can all recognise that slavery and racism is wrong. And I said to him, I said, look, by no means am I decrying what these people went through, but it wasn't just black people who were sold into slavery. There were white people who were sold into indentured slavery, Chinese people. It wasn't, although we do tend to focus on what happened with black people, there were many people who were sold into this abominational market, really were. And I said, look, I understand that you know that, you know, it's this thing, oh, you know, the white masters gave us this and stuff like that. But I said, look, here's the deal. If you are truly unhappy with the name that was given, you can go back, find the name that you originally had, reclaim the name, and change it by default. Reclaim the name that you had and live with that name with pride. It doesn't by any means discount history, but it does mean that you can rectify your personal history in your life. If you genuinely feel that you are upset with that name, bearing in mind that your parents actually gave you that name, nobody else did. So he just sat back and he was like, you know what, and he said, you're absolutely right. I could go out tomorrow, change my name to whatever I wished it to be. You know, the only reason why I'm talking about this is because the world has absolutely gone mad. and there are a lot of hyper far-wing groups that are so busy trying to poison the minds of people. They have little time left to actually say to people, well, actually, here are your rights. They're always going on so much about how rights are being squashed. They don't actually get time to talk about rights, whatever that. And I'm not just talking about black people or anything else. I'm talking about any group. So look, I really wanted to talk about this because that sort of thing is poisoning our culture. All these minority groups who are so militant. I mean, at one point, if these people acted like this, it would be, you know, there was one point where the world would be a case of, you know, you're actually going out and destroying things, you're vandalising things, you're doing all these things. It would not have been accepted. There would have been very harsh penalties for the way people act, like throwing paint over paintings. You know, we're going to realise that in this country, despite the problems we're having, we have so much access to so many things. You know, we can, although we do, yes, we do have crime. You're going to have crime, you're going to have all these things, but relatively speaking, you can walk out of your door, be confident in the fact that you're going to go around and live your daily life, and you're going to go about unmolested. You're going to go about living your daily life without having to worry if somebody's going to leap out of you, stab you, you know, whatever it is that happens in other areas of the world. There are children, for God's sake, who literally have to fight to stay alive in the country. And we're worried, and there are some people out here worried about supermarkets selling meat and go to pieces because of that. I mean, come on. I think we've got a lot more to worry about than things that really just do not make sense. I think, you know, honestly, the more I've lived my life, and I turned 50. I turned 50 on March the 5th. I turned 50 on March the 5th. And whilst 50 is no age these days, it brings to mind that there are just so many things that we just have to be grateful for, that we don't have to deal with. You know, I mean, we have so much going for us, and the problem that we have is, and I'll tell you what, really the problem that we have in this world is the lack of gratitude. We have the lack of really thinking, you know what, we have so much to be grateful for. It's unbelievable. I mean, debt. There are so many institutions out there that can help you get out of debt, that can help you solve problems. There are so many institutions that will teach you how to get a job, help you write up your curriculum vitae, who will help you for free to go for job interviews. There are institutions that if you are so down on the luck that you can't get a shower and clean clothes to go for an interview, they can help you with that. There's so many things, you know, and even then, and I you know, I will say I have my own opinion on a few things, but even then, after that, there's still room to take people in from other countries who are having a hard time. You know, I think we need to remember to be a lot more grateful, because reverse it and take away some of the things that we have, we could be in a hell of a lot worse position than what we are right now. So when you're finding, and I am aiming to these people who are, you know, wailing about, oh, how life is so terrible. Well, you know, how about you have a little bit more gratitude for what you do have? I really mean that, because I know there's a lot for me. For what I have right now, I'm extremely grateful. I have a roof over my head, I have a bed to sleep in, I have food, I'm able to look after my mum and dad, I'm able to live life on my own terms. What more can you possibly want? We have people out there. I mean, I'm grateful because I have a landlord who has said to me, when I was going on holiday, things were tough and I was worrying about things, and my landlord turned around to me and said, Ian, don't pay rent this month, go out on holiday, repay the rent and get yourself sorted. And you know, I was really far behind on problems. I was really having problems, and I phoned him. I said, look, is there any chance I'm really desperate, is there any chance I could borrow a little cash until the next time we come and pay for rent, and I'll pay you back plus the rent. Literally the next day he paid it in, it was there, and I paid him back. Now I know I'm lucky, well, I'm not lucky, I've worked for what I've got, but honestly, there's so much opportunity out there, and the opportunities are there. All you've got to do is, number one, have a little bit of gratitude for what you have. Number two, seek the opportunities, which in England you can, and even in America you can. You know, the amount of problems I've solved just by looking for opportunities to solve them is incredible. So for all those people who are up in arms about whatever it is, take a step back. Remember that life really, really isn't that terrible. So just a few thoughts for you this morning. If you're ever kind of getting poisoned by these minority groups, just remember that.